it. What I like to class as a modern classic, because it's a modern sound, but the classic Liam Gallagher is there. So, what I also want to talk about is the patheticness of Hollywood, because, as I say, this video has not been intended, as I said at the start of the video, this is my first ever one. This is not intended to be a rant video in any shape or form, but as I said, this is things I want to talk about. So I'm getting bored to death with Hollywood, absolutely bored in general with it. You look at all the movies that are coming out, with the exception of a few, they are all reboots or sequels, sometimes both. Get the odd movie here and there, like for example Baby Driver, which me and Andrew went to see last weekend. Absolutely fucking loved it. Great film, excellent soundtrack, brilliant camera work, great actors, very funny in parts as well. Great scene, great fight scene at the end of it. I'm not going to spoil it for you guys if nobody's seen it yet, but if you have seen it, you'll know what I'm talking about. The bit with the parking lot, as the Americans call it. Brilliant, really, really good. Really enjoyed it. Fantastically shot. Great actors, as I say, and great music. So very, very rare nowadays that you get a so-called independent idea to do that well. Having said that though, looking forward to Deadpool 2, because it's different. The first movie was different. It wasn't the same wall-to-wall special effects. Also wall-to-wall CGI, blasting things left, right and centre. None of that. Absolutely none of that. And that's why I love it. Very funny, again, different tint. Same with The Amazing Spider-Man, that first film. Different way of doing it. Same sort of relative story. It's like, you know, you could argue better actors in those. Amazing Spider-Man 2, bored. Because it was just wall-to-wall computer graphics. And even though I'm a guy that grew up at the birth of that, with movies such as Terminator 2, Jurassic Park, obviously one of my, if not my all-time favourite movie, and The Abyss. You know, those three movies were almost like the benchmark that you could say spoiled the Star Wars stories, because if Jurassic Park hadn't come out, if Terminator 2 hadn't come out, I'm sure obviously somebody else would have made movies similar to that vein. But that spurred George Lucas on to make the prequels, and should never have happened. Should never have happened. And these new sequels as well, again, personally, should never have happened. Leave things alone, Hollywood. Leave things alone. You're just making it worse. You're making it worse. I mean, there's a talk of a fourth Back to the Future movie, and has been for a good few years now. You know, it's just Transformers. Should have been 2 films. Done. Dusted. What are we on? 5 now? Anyway, as I say, I'm just bored. Absolutely bored. What I also wanted to say is this thing with Android boxes. And I say Android boxes because wakey people, they are Android boxes. They're not Kodi boxes. Kodi is an app. It's like calling your iPhone iTunes, yeah. Or it's like calling your Android phone. What's this? A Snapchat phone, or a Twitter phone. Wake up. You guys really need to pull your fucking fingers out when it comes to this. Because there are kids growing up that believe everything that comes on Sky Sports, and that comes on in the newspapers. They take it as read, and you're chatting out of your arse. Okay, this is a conversation I have with my girlfriend as well, because she keeps referring to them as saying Kodi boxes because everyone else does. They're not Kodi boxes. They are Android devices. It's like saying your TV is an Amazon TV because you can, because if you've got a smart television, you can run apps on it. You need to wake up, people. You seriously need to wake up. Take a look at your lives. Report accurately for a change. One thing I'm very, very passionate on is accurate news, which is why I've been boycotting a lot of the football rumours, because they're just ridiculous. Just people making a fast quid. Life's not about that, guys. Seriously, no. We live in a society where we should be being told the truth. We've got politicians lying to us, so therefore we need to be be told the truth. Now, as I say, because of it, we've got people believe in what Donald Trump, and quite rightly so. Donald Trump calls it fake news, and it is fake news. It's inaccurate. It's not accurate reporting. And for example, the Football Fans Association, I think it is, they did the walk against terrorism, the bank holiday weekend. I think it was a bank holiday weekend, a couple of weekends ago. Not reported accurately enough. In fact, not accurate at all, because it wasn't reported. There's teams of football fans all up and down the country, all got together and walked 4 or 5 miles, however long it was. No club shirts, no flags, no club songs being sung to represent who supports what. And where was that in the papers? No. Any article you read about that is linked more to do with the fact of the EDL marches and all the bust-ups that were happening with that, and the fight against terrorism, United Against Terrorism, which was the football fans' demonstration slogan. But that was interpreted by another group who wanted to do the walk, from what I understand of it. So again, wake up, report good news. I mean, I know it's got to be bad to make the news, but report accurate facts. Report the world as it actually is, rather than this, life's amazing, none of us are in debt, we've all got 5-bedroom houses, 3 cars, 4 kids. Yeah, the world's not like that. And the world needs to be reported as such. When we grew up, we were breastfed that we're all going to be rock stars or movie stars. But our generations of fans that are actually woken up to the fact that life's not like that. Everything is airbrushed nowadays, and more just in the adverts. More specifically the cab company advert, shall I say. Very good idea. Brilliant. That they're walking in between different cabs and doing different things. Very 60s way of doing things. An advert. But life isn't that amazing. We need real life adverts now. Life can be amazing. For working grunts like me, with a beautiful woman who I'm crazy about and she's crazy about me. I mean, I love her to bits, and I'm sure she loves me. We've been together for pretty much 2 years, and I love her to bits. I support her with everything she does, and she seems to support everything I do. So it's good. It's great. Life. But the thing that she will verify that I hate the word amazing. Life isn't amazing. Life is great. Life can be amazing. Doesn't mean it is. Which brings around to another point I wanted to make quickly, is the fact that the loss of the English language, could, would, may are not definite words. Jermaine Defoe may be coming back, could come back to West Ham. Didn't happen because it was Bournemouth. Could is not definite. Should is not. They're all suggestive words, not concrete. So people need to be communicating it in that way. And as a result, life will be better because everybody knows what's going on. Now, the last thing I wanted to talk about is it's kind of the same two things mixed together. When did we become a country where we tightly pack ourselves into tubes just because we can't be bothered to wait for a couple of minutes for the next train. I'm sorry, but when did this happen? I love this. I love Britain. You know, as I just harping back, my great granddad worked for Thames Iron Works. So this is where the whole West Ham thing comes from as well, which I explained earlier in the video. But when did this happen? When did we become so selfish and so ignorant as a society on a whole that we would fuck everybody over just for a couple of inches of space on the tube? And people shouting, "Move down," when there's no space to move, and people cramming themselves into it. When did we become India? When did we become India? Now I know that the tube has always been busy. It always has been, especially the line that I get, the central line. It's always has been busy. But at least there was respect. Yeah, at least people would get up for pregnant women. Some people still do. It's great. You know, I do as well, except when my knee's playing up. Sometimes I physically can't do it. It can be really painful standing up on the tube because of everybody else who crams themselves into the doors, which makes the trains judder. When the trains judder and I'm standing up, my knee kills because of you ignorant wankers. But that's the world we live in nowadays, and I don't like it. I am the selfishness of people. New York has got a fantastic slogan that they use on the tubes, the tube network over there, and we've started doing it recently as well, albeit with Mr. Men characters. It's their consideration campaign. One of the posters, for example, says, "If you're wearing a backpack, take it off. Save the space." So create the space, I should say. Great. Brilliant. It's not hard. Not hard. And also, lastly, I want to talk about, which, as I say, it does go down the lines of ignorance as well. Is this whole thing about people only buy certain products made by certain companies because it's fashionable. Okay, I don't agree with it. Really don't agree with this. People will go out and buy a GoPro. Nothing wrong with them. Very, very good cameras. When you can buy a camera half the price from companies like Taiye, I think you pronounce it Thieye. I've got one myself, the Taiye camera. Some people call it Taiye, somebody call it Taiye, whatever. But they're out there. They're available. And there are more places than Amazon. And there's places all over the place if you bother to look. Which is why I'm saying, when did we become this ignorant and this lazy? I mean, I used to have a conversation with a mate of mine at work a few years ago that smartphones will be the death of brains. Because when me and Ange were growing up, we haven't known each other all our lives, but she's only a couple of years younger than me, so we're basically the same generation. When we arranged to meet somebody at the cinema, we turned up. We didn't text them and say, "Oh, I'm going to be half an hour late." We would phone at least an hour or so before we knew either of them were going to leave. So yeah, I'm running a bit late. We didn't text. We didn't tweet. We didn't. What's the other thing? The nudging. I think these people still nudge. You know, we don't. Common courtesy is lost in this world nowadays. This is not a rant because I'm not angry. There's disappointment here that the way the world is. But anyway, I've been John, and thank you very much for sitting throughout the length of this video, and thank you very much for your time. I'm hoping to say I want to do more of these. I don't want to do the usual panda that you see on YouTube. Like it if you want, subscribe if you want. If you do or you don't, I don't give a monkeys. I'm not looking to make a living out of this. Be handy if I could, but I'm not going to sit and go subscribe like people do. We live in a democracy, and you're free to make your choices. Send me a comment, send me a direct message. Not bothered. It's fine. It's good. I hope you do enjoy this video. These collection of videos that I'm hoping to be able to compile together. If not, they'll go up as low as each. But yeah, as I say, thank you very much for your time, guys. And I hope to speak to you soon. And one further thing, as the average West Ham supporter that I am, come on you Irons.